ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to H.A.T.E of RWA Rebirth Series 3. In the last heat we saw a shock as number 8 seeds Toxic Scorpion tumbled in round 1, leaving the floor open for number 20 seeds Pinky 2 to swoop in and win the heat, flipping VMAX out of the arena before defeating the bodyguard in one of the best battles of the series so far. As usual, we have 9 robots ready to do battle, so let's see which seeds are in this heat. Coming in first, seed number 10, it's Up Downer. Up Downer is one of the original 4 robots, meaning it's one of only 4 machines to have fought in every series of RWA. They made it to the semi-finals in the last wars, only to get gutted by Shredder. Are they stronger this time? And joining them are our number 22 seeds H.A.T.E. New and improved this time around, they needed it to be honest after getting absolutely mullered by Shredder in the heat final last wars. Are they better this time? Only time will tell. So smashing into Melee 1, we have Up Downer, the seeded veterans going up against 2 newcomers, Porkupine, they looked good in testing, and Moon the Loon. Let's get to the arena.
From Poole in Dorset, Porkupine.
If this was a beauty contest, I honestly think this robot will win. However, in RWA it's about fighting. Thankfully, Porkupine has a nice big flipper on the front. It also has a nice sideways flipper, which is mainly used for self-righting. And yeah, fingers crossed, they're newcomers, so they hope to do well.
From Wembley in Middlesex, Moon the Loon.
And we have Moon the Loon, which is the nickname of Keith Moon, the drummer for The Who. Why is it named that? Because it's got a great big spinning drum. And they're hoping to do lots of damage to other robots.
From East Towers on the Isle of Wight and seeded number 10, Up Downer.
We don't throw the word legend around very lightly in RWA, but if there's ever a robot that's deserving of it, it is this machine here, Up Downer. One of the original 4 machines, it still to this day competes. It's been fought in every single series of RWA, and they're back again with their huge flipper, and they're hoping to once again make the series semi-finals.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
We're fighting here between some interesting machines. Oh, Porcupine already flipped up over there by Up Downer, and Moon the Loon flipped over too by Up Downer straight away. And I think that's it for both machines already. Up Downer already doing their victory spin and dance. Now coming in on Porcupine, going to give them another bit of a flick, maybe. Oh, nearly out of the arena, but not quite. And now Porcupine's flipper, still in the upward position, has sort of landed on top of his flipper in a bad way, so they can't really self-right from there either, I don't think. Moon the Loon are done for. They definitely haven't got a self-right mechanism. Porcupine's Shimmick seems to have failed it, and I think what's happened is the flipper has sort of bent under it. Oh! Moron! Well, that's all we need. Now we haven't got a referee. Thanks, Up Downer. Well done, boys. Great. Well, Porcupine have definitely been counted out of this way back for them from there, unfortunately. Oh dear, look there, you can see the flipper, look. It's sort of, I think the bearings have snapped or something. They're out of the arena now! But the problem is the flipper, when it was stuck like that, it meant that their other flipper couldn't self-right them. Now, the house robots, Katrina and Brick coming in on Moon the Loon, hoping to do all sorts of damage and destruction. And then, oh hang on, now they're attacking Up Downer. What's going on here? I think it's because of them flipping over Morrow. I'll be honest, I haven't got a clue what's going on here. Cease called. Morrow flipped up and over. Up Downer the winners. There's Porcupine. We barely even saw them. Up Downer just showing everyone there why they are legends. Both Porcupine and Moon the Loon flipped in a matter of moments before having a cheeky pop at Morrow. The house robots have long memory, boys. Don't forget about that. In Melee 2 we see Mechanico, a new machine made entirely of metal, can't wait to see that, and they'll be taking on Mean Green Fighting Machine and Battlebots legends Vlad the Impaller.
From Middlesbrough in Teesside, Mean Green Fighting Machine.
Here's Mean Green Fighting Machine, back again. They've never really had much success before in Robot Wars Armourgeddon, but they're hoping to get some here. They've got these 2 wedges, a lot of speed, brute force, and a lot of power as well, so who knows, they could do well this time.
From Oakland, California in the USA, Vlad the Impaller.
From the USA, it is Vlad the Impaller, and they had a few problems. Their pneumatic system has gone completely kaput, which means their stream mech is broken and their lifting forks wouldn't work. So what they've done is they've taken the pneumatic system out and they've used the extra weight allowance to put in bigger motors, bigger batteries, and just to toughen the armour up a little bit. So this is basically a big speeding impenetrable brick now, and they've just basically stuck the forks on the front. They have given impenetrable ground clearance at the front, they say, and they're hoping to ram robots around the arena.
From Sheffield in South Yorkshire, Mechanico.
A first for RWA, this one, the first ever robot made out of metal in RWA history, believe it or not. There's never been a metal robot that I can remember anyway. So this is Mechanico. It's made out of Meccano, hence the name, and it's got a great big flipper, and they're hoping to throw everything out the arena.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Hopefully this battle will last longer than the last one. Vlad the Impaler, look at the speed and power of that machine. Unfortunately, their lifting forks, as we heard in the pits, are broken. So instead they're going to have to rely on a lot of force, a lot of powerful drive there. Speaking of powerful drive, is Mean Green Fighting Machine slamming into Mechanico. Mechanico look interesting. The first ever metal machine in RWA history. There's the flicker again, trying to get underneath Vlad, but not really working. Now Vlad being slammed in the with Katrina. This is a new arena for Vlad the Impaler, don't forget. They're used to the Battlebots over in America. You know, because the Battlebots is inferior to our arena, obviously, as is most other arenas. Anyway, enough self-procrastinating. Good drive there by Mean Green Fighting Machine. This is a good battle so far, isn't it? All three machines showing good aggression. I would probably say Mean Green Fighting Machine's been the most active out there. Maybe Vlad's been the most punished. Definitely now, though! Flipped up and over. Now remember, their pneumatic system isn't working, which means they can't self-right. So that could very much be it for Vlad. No! Mechanico very sportily flipping them back over. Now will they rue that decision later on? Who knows? Mean Green Fighting Machine looking for a good attack there, but being flipped over itself now by Mechanico. And that's a bit of a shame because they also don't have a self-righting mechanism. It started off well for them, but Vlad the Impaler now doing a handstand and now finally falling over and flat in his face as well. And I think Mechanico's going to learn from their mistake earlier, maybe, or are they? They're going after Vlad again here. So that's a bit of an odd choice of tactic. Mean Green Fighting Machine, they're done for. They're being counted out by Morrow. That's a shame, really. They did start off pretty strong in this fight, but it went a bit haywire for them towards the end. They're out. There's the finish. And the red card from Morrow. And now, just a question to see whether or not Vlad will be invited in time. I don't think they will, in all honesty. I think they're completely done for. Oh, Nail getting the crusher in on the wheels of Mean Green Fighting Machine. I wonder how much damage that's going to have done to the drive system. And now placing them on the floor. Flipper! And they're back on their wheels now! But I think it's a bit too late for them. It definitely is. They've been counted out. And now Vlad being counted out as well. I think Mean Green Fighting Machine are dead now, actually. I think Nail must have done some serious damage to their drive system. Must have done. And they've been placed onto the drop zone. What's going to land on them? Vlad's been counted out and has been given the red card by Morrow. Oh, it's the scrap metal. Oh dear, oh dear. And Vlad getting absolutely munched into. Oh, my goodness, spinner as well. And Mechanico. Very impressive display there. And they go through to the H.A.T.E semi-finals. Well, it started well for Mean Green Fighting Machine, but their lack of a stream mech really did let them down after Mechanico flipped them over, which was the same fate that Vlad followed, being flipped over without a hope of self-righting. Mechanico go through. And in our third and final melee of the H.A.T.E, we will see the number 22 seeds H.A.T.E going up against two newcomers, G-Forece and Bonebreaker. Let's get to the arena.
From Worcester and seeded number 22, H.A.T.E.
And the number 22 seeds H.A.T.E, back again with a completely rebuilt machine. They got smashed to pieces in the last series by Shredder, and they're hoping to do a little bit better this time around with this new design. They've got a more compact sleek design, which means it hopefully won't break so much, and they've got this big huge clubbing mace, which they're hoping will cause a lot of damage to a lot of robots.
from Leicester in Leicestershire, G-Forece.
This is G-Force. It's a track-driven machine which uses a wedge and lots of brute force to slam, get underneath and push around the opponents.
From the Wirral, Bonebreaker.
Here's Bonebreaker, and if there was ever a newcomer that looked deadly, this was definitely it, with a huge bar spinner.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
I can't wait to see the spinner of Bonebreaker in action. I also can't wait to see that huge heavy mace of H.A.T.E, the number 22 seed. It looks so much better than it did last time around, although not really doing much there. G-Force with a good shove and push. Remember, that's a track-driven robot, so lots of grip, lots of pushing power. Look at the speed of it as well. Very quick machine, G-Force, making up for its lack of weaponry with just brute force and power. The pit button was pressed. There we go. The pit has now eventually gone down. Look at the spinner of Bonebreaker. Doesn't that look absolutely deadly? Although, I'll be honest, it's not really making much of an impact. And I'll tell you what else isn't making much of an impact. That hammer mace thing of H.A.T.E. It seems to be a little bit too long. Maybe it's overextending every single reach. And it's now in there with Nail, and Nail bringing the crusher down. So that's a bit of a problem for them. There's G-Force. Meanwhile, that wedge doing a really good job of deflecting Bonebreaker spinner. Then again, if I'm being honest, everything is doing a good job of deflecting that. That spinner has been very disappointing. This battle, you know, I tell you what, I was quite excited for this fight, but I will admit, neither machine, apart from G-Force, has really managed to get a decent impact on one of the others. And meanwhile, oh, hey, you've been pitted! The number 22 seeds, they've gone, they're out, I don't believe it! Oh! And Bonebreaker going flying. G-Force, definitely the strongest machine in this battle so far. Bonebreaker, oh, just able to get away. Trying to bring that spinner into play, but it's just not working. That spinner is very disappointing. Oh, G-Force, nearly driving themselves down the pit. Now that was a better attack there from Bonebreaker's spinner. Now being chucked by the floor flicker. Trying to get that spinner back into play, G-Force. And again, now this is, here we go. Bonebreaker now finally getting some good attacks in. But G-Force able to deflect the spinner again and giving him a bit of a piggyback ride. Oh, so close to the pit of oblivion. And they're down. In the pit they go. Bonebreaker done for. And G-Force go through to the Heat semi-finals. That was a good, strong display by them. Well done. Bit of a shock here. H.A.T.E failing to make an impact with his hammer and being doomed to the pit of oblivion. And whilst Bonebreaker gave G-Force a good fight, they too were summoned to the pit eventually. So now it's time for our Losers Redemption. 6 robots enter, only 1 emerges victorious. Who will it be? The number 22 seeds H.A.T.E, Bonebreaker, Porkupine, Moon the Loon, Green Mean Fighting Machine, or Vlad the Impaller? Who knows?
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
There's a lot of good machines in this battle. Mean Green Fighting Machine immediately being flipped over though by Porcupine. We know they can't self-right. Down comes the big clubbing mace of H.A.T.E. There's the big spinner of Bonebreaker. Don't forget Moon the Loon's drum spinner as well. There is Vlad the Impaller's lifting forks, although they're not really lifting anything at the moment, and they've been flipped over again, and their pneumatic system is still broken. So I think that's those two already done for. Bonebreaker now being chucked in the air by Porcupine. Hopefully we'll see a bit more of that spinner in this fight. We also want to see a bit more of that hammer mace thing of H.A.T.E. It looks so powerful, but it just seems to overreach the mark a little bit. I'm wondering whether they have made it a bit too long, perhaps. Bonebreaker's blade spinning in the background, but it's not actually doing, well, anything, is it really? It's just sort of sat there on the floor, but are they okay? Moon the Loon meanwhile on their side as well. I've just noticed that, and it's already a battle between these two here. Porcupine and the number 22 sees H.A.T.E. In my opinion, I think Moon the Loon are done for. I think Mean Green Fight Machine are done for. I think Vlad are done for. And Bonebreaker just are not moving. They've been flipped by the floor flipper as well. And they just sort of landed on that dog pile there. Moon the Loon have now been righted. So can they do anything? I'm not really too sure. They didn't really do anything in the last battle either. They've been very disappointing. I'm not really too sure who Morrow is counting out. I think he's just counting all 3 of them out, to be honest. They've all been immobilised for a very, very long time. And that's them done for. Pit button pressed. Courtesy of Moon the Loon being pushed onto it by H.A.T.E. Down goes the pit. Who will sink into the abyss? The house robots coming in. There's Nail trying to grab a hold of Vlad and do some serious damage. There's Katrina the big, huge 45-degree angled spinning bar. Bone Breaker has done absolutely nothing in this fight. It really is a shame. I was expecting a lot from them, and they've done absolutely nothing. There is H.A.T.E, the number 22 seed, H.A.T.E, finally getting that mace into action, but it doesn't have any impact behind it. It doesn't seem to be doing anything at all, although it's very good as a self-riding mechanism. Do you see how flamboyantly they're righting themselves there? Morrow pushing Bone Breaker towards the pit now, so they're going to go down any second. They've been done for a long time anyway. And now Vlad, oh, dearie me. Look there, just punked easily. And now H.A.T.E being flicked over again with self-righting, and they still mobile. Down the pit goes Bone, nearly in the pit. There, H.A.T.E, they nearly followed them. But for me, Porcupine's been the most impressive machine out of these guys. He's immobilised 2 robots. Up in the air goes Mean Green Fighting Machine. Now, where's Moon the Loon while all this is going on? Moon the Loon just standing there idle to one side of the arena, and I think they're done for as well. Down comes that huge mace once again. You see, it does have a bit of power behind it, but the aim is all off. And this has all been Porcupine for me, really. They've done all the work in this fight between these two. Morrow now coming down and counting out. Oh, Moon the Loon. But we're also in the final 10 seconds. Will Moon the Loon just survive? I don't think they're going to make it. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. They're out with just 1 second to spare. Oh, I don't believe it. What a shame for them. Oh, poor Moon the Loon. And it'll go to the judges between those two there. Well, that was a close call. Not for Mean Green Fighting Machine or Vlad the Impaler. Both immobilised right at the start by Porcupine. Bone Breaker died early on too. Moon the Loon, meanwhile, almost survived to the end, being counted out a second before cease was called. It's gone to the judges between H.A.T.E and Porcupine, but H.A.T.E was disappointed throughout, and I think Porcupine was the most impressive. But then again, I'm not a judge. On this occasion, however, they completely agree with me. Porcupine winning all 3 criteria. Just shows you how ineffective that new hammer is, doesn't it? Porcupine go through to the semi-finals. Whilst our Rebirth spend time making some much needed repairs, let's have a bit of fun, shall we? It's time for some more pinball, but in this version, tilting the table won't help you. The Pinball Warrior tournament is designed to test the robot's driving skill and precision. The goal is to score as many points as possible by completing as many tasks as possible in the given time. And this week it's Ducky's turn to run the course. Will they take out the leader's Dietor, or will they duck the challenge?
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Remember the big points to get. 165 points, that's what Dietor currently has as the leaders. Now that's a good start by Ducky, going over the ramp, getting 20 points, but oh, they've missed the goal there. Now going for the multi-ball release, and I think they've gone and got themselves stuck. They have, and I think Brick is trying to free them, if anything. I'm not really too sure what's going on there. Oh, now the 50-point target there, yes! So they managed to get the 50-point target, plus the 20 points for the ramp. Now what can they go for? Maybe that multi-ball release again is right there, lads. Go on, go for it. What are they doing? This isn't really the best of runs so far. In comes Brick now, slamming them into the side wall. And you've got the bricks right there, or the barrels. Come on, easy points. 5 points per barrel knocked down. Or go for the bricks, 10 points per brick knocked down. Who knows? What are they doing here, Ducky? They've done absolutely nothing in this. And we're already in the final 10 seconds. And now go for the bricks. Come on, lads. Oh, what are you doing? It's right there. Just knock them down. Oh, that was a dismal run. What a shame. What a dismal performance that was. Ducky clearly getting into a flap. Started strong, getting a complete run over the ramp, but they failed to score a goal before getting stuck on the multi-ball release. They managed to score 50 by hitting Karma's target, but then got ambushed by Brick. They couldn't even get any barrels or bricks down. And the score says it all, only 70 points, easily the worst run thus far. More pinball next time. So it's time for our first heat semi-final, up down as seeded 10th, going up against the impressive newcomers, Mechanico. What a fight this will be.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Two very good flippers here, up, down, and we'll start as the favourites though, being seeded, but they've just been flipped over straight away by Mechanico, and against the side wall, oh goodness me, very nearly out the arena. Oh, I thought they had gone out then, and again look, Mechanico just flipping them straight away, like not even giving them a chance to breathe. Now up down and trying to get that flipper into play, but missing. Spinning on the spot. That's not really good control. Are they okay, I wonder? This isn't the usual quick, fast-paced winning streak of up down. But there's a good flip there, though, on Mechanico. Although it was a bit of a weak flip, considering how powerful up down usually is. And up and over go up down again. And self-righting in flamboyant style. So there's plenty of gas in there. Self-riding again, but now they're into Glade CPZ, and down comes the axe of Glade. Good driving there right down to get away, though. All the way from the Isle of Wight, don't forget, so World of Woodrow loves them. There we go, driving away again, but they just don't seem to be working too well here, do they, up-downer? They're sort of trudging along a little bit, and I'm wondering if they've got some control problems, or maybe some radio interference issues. They're not moving as smooth as they usually do. And this has all been Mechanico so far, which is a very big surprise. And Karma now plugging up into the air and dropping them down. That's her favourite tactic to do. Now, see, that was good. A nice little burst of speed there from up down, but they've been flipped up and over again. Upended this time. Now, can they self-right from there? I'm not too sure. Up Downer are in a lot of trouble here. They haven't really been giving us a performance that we're used to seeing from them. And we could very well be seeing an upset here. Morrow getting himself ready to come into the count, I think. Meanwhile, Mechanico trying to get them, I think, out of the arena. Not too sure how successful they're going to be. Oh, look at that! A balancing act. Fantastic. Well, this isn't the circus, boys. Out you go. You can't do a balancing act all day. Out they go. That's a huge surprise. Mechanico go 3. Up Downer out. Huge upset here. Such a shame for Up Downer, clearly having control problems throughout the battle, eventually getting upended and then doing a balancing act on the sidewall before eventually taking the tumble to the outside. Mechanico go through! And now a battle between two newcomers, G-Force. They looked good in their opening melee, and Porkupine, who looked really good in the Loser's Redemption. Let's get to the arena.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
G-Force would start as the favourites in this one for me, but they've been flipped over almost immediately by Porcupine! And G-Force have no weaponry, no self-riding mechanism. They have brute force and tracks and good grip. Yes, that's all absolutely fine, but you can't use that if you're upside down. And I think G-Force are already done for here. Oh, that was so quick. They didn't even get a chance to move. And they're being countered out by Morrow already. And Porcupine. That was very, very quick. Very, very well done as well. That's the third quick KO they've managed to get in this heat. This could be a robot to watch out for this series. It looks so good, doesn't it? And on the drop zone, down comes the big sphere that we use in our pinball tournament. That actually weighs quite a lot, believe it or not. It weighs 35 grams, but you didn't know that, did you? Now it's just a question now, damage limitation really for G-Force. On the floor, Flipper getting lunged in the air. Now they've righted, but it's far too late, boys. Oh, what a shame. Flipped up and over by Porcupine and into the air by Porcupine. Cease called, and Porcupine go through to the heat final to face off against Mechanico. What a win there for Porcupine. Well, blinking, you would have missed it. Porcupine making a bit of a habit of this, to be honest. Almost immediately flipping G-Force over without a stream mech, and G-Force were done for. Porcupine go through to the heat final. Being honest, I wasn't expecting to see these two in the heat final. Mechanico and Porcupine, both newcomers. Only one can get direct entry into the semis, however. Who will win? Let's find out.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Two unseeded newcomers in the heat final. Should be a really good battle this between two good flippers. Up and over go Porcupine straight away. Now there's that self-riding mechanism, and it has worked this time around. Up and over go Mechanico. Now can they self-right? Oh, they're on their side. I'm not too sure if they can self-right from their side. They're trying desperately to get away from their Porcupine in an attempt to attack them, which ended up actually helping them, and now they can self-right, and they have done. But driving into brick CP, that's not a smart idea, boys. You really don't want to drive in there. Mechanico now pushing Porcupine back. Porcupine getting underneath Mechanico's back entrance and flipping it over again. Look at the ground clearance on Mechanico. Just realised how high it actually is. And they're being flicked up and over here quite a bit by Porcupine. but they're self-righting well. Now doing Porcupine, a good barrel roll there into Morrow's front shovel. He won't appreciate that. Up and over they go again. Self-righting, yes, no, yes, there we go. I think that topic is a little bit too powerful for their own good. That might be something to watch out for later on. Up and over go Mechanico with the self-right once again, and on their side now. Now, can Porcupine take advantage of this situation here? No. Ended up righting them in the end. Mechanico with a huge flick. Goodness me. A little bit closer to the side, well, they would have been out there, Porcupine. Meanwhile, Mechanico on their side once again. This is a very back and forth, very tactical battle. This is a really good heat final, you know. Really shaping up to be it. I mean, it's nice to see legends return, it's nice to see good robots return, but sometimes seeing the two robots that represent the future of the sport going at it in a really good clash is also really nice to see. And up and over go Porcupine again and trying to self-right once again, and doing so. That self-right really is a little bit too powerful for their own good. And Mechanico will definitely have noticed that. Self-righting spectacular. Oh, but they've now been flipped against the side wall like that with their flipper in the air, and I don't think they can get back from there. Morrow's coming in to have a little bit of a cheeky look and a bit of an examine. Brick giving them a bit of a nudge. Oh, they've landed on their top now. Yellow card to Brick by Morrow, and rightfully so. They weren't in the CPZ, but oh, they're being counted down now. They can't self-run, not with the flipper in that position. And that is a shame for them, but they made it to, they did a really good job in their first ever series, making it to a heat final and having a really good fight along the way. They beat Up Down and the number 10 seeds as well, don't forget. Now in there with Malfunction, up and over they go. Malfunction trying to get that flipping scoop into play, and does so, chucking it onto the pit. And I wonder what's going to happen now. Porcupine hitting the pit button and down into the abyss. Go Mechanico. Well done to them for going so well, but it's Porcupine who win the heat final. That was a very tactical battle, both robots getting good flips on one another, but it was this flip here by Porcupine that sealed the deal for them. Mechanico couldn't self-right from that position, and they were left to sink into the abyss. Porcupine have won the heat and are through to the series semi-finals. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. See you next time for more chaos. Next time on RWA Rebirth, we have the number 12 seeds Chaos 2, back for some flipping good fun. And the number 24 seeds Gravity Plus. Will it be their series? Find out next time.
Your mind, she's not satisfied, so you're just a waste of time. She might seem so nice, but your girl's gone wild. She's out late at night, 'cause your girl's gone wild, yeah. You're not her only guy, 'cause your girl's gone wild. And she'll keep telling you lies, 'cause your girl's gone wild, yeah. What she's been